Hi guys, welcome to Unknown Audio. We're back with our first video of 2017. This one hopefully is going to be quite a quick tutorial, a very simple technique for helping you to add a bit of extra click to your kick. So if I just play you this riff as it stands with the drums, if you pay particular attention to the kick drum, hear how it sounds, and then I'll run you through the technique and we'll have a listen to the difference it makes. Okay. So it's just a couple of riffs I'd thrown together a while back, and I just came back to it the other day, and it just sounded like it could be enhanced a bit. So what I've got, that's the kick and snare on one channel, and for the drums, and then all I've got is the cymbals on a different channel. Okay, so the technique is really simple, and all we're going to be using is an EQ. And basically what we do is we're going to set up, we're going to send from the kick to an auxiliary channel, which I've named kick click, and we're going to use an EQ and high pass the sound. And we're adding a high pass or a low cut. For those of you that don't know, a high pass and a low cut is the same thing. So if I say either of those, you can interchange them to mean the same thing. A low cut, we're cutting out the low frequencies. A high pass, we're allowing the high frequencies to pass through. So it's just a different way of saying the same thing. So yes, I'm high passing the sound up to 1500 hertz, and then I've got a high shelf which is starting at 30, just above 1300 hertz, and giving it a 6 dB push. But that's it, that's basically all we're doing. So let's give a listen before and then afterwards. So if sorry, let me mute this first. Let's remind ourselves how this sounded, and then as it's playing, I'll unmute this channel, and you'll hear, hopefully if you pay attention to the kick, you'll hear the extra click that it's given us. Okay, the other thing I'm doing, because this doesn't just have to be a technique for improving your kick sounds, you can use this on any source you want. We're really talking about parallel processing here, that's all it is. And you know, it doesn't get much simpler than, you know, adding an EQ on an auxiliary channel. I'm also sending the cymbals to the same channel, just to give them a little lift in their high frequencies. So again, so now I feel like that's really just lifting the drums and bringing them out a bit more in the higher frequencies. But for good measure, let's let's show you how you could use it with guitars, for example. I've done this here. I've set up bus 4, and I'm sending my both guitars. So I've got 2 guitar channels with 2 separate recordings, one hard pan to the left, one hard pan to the right, and on both of them I'm sending them to this same bus channel. And again, I'm using a high pass. This one's going up to almost 3000 hertz, and I'm also using a low shelf here just to really just make sure none of the lower frequencies are coming through. And then again, a high shelf, 2300 hertz or thereabouts, and again pushing up those higher frequencies. So without first on the guitars, let's solo the guitars. So without first, now with, okay, just giving them a little bit of a lift. And again, this you can be as creative with this as you want, and you can apply it to any source that you choose, really. Anything that you're working on, you know, give it a go, see if this can help. What I'm also doing to this guitar channel is I've added a bit of compression, sorry. You can see the settings there, nothing too heavy. And then I'm adding a camel crusher, which isn't doing a lot. Again, a little bit of compression on it, and that just, I find that just limits the sound and stops us clipping. So it's not really doing a lot. I'm not adding any distortion to it. So I don't know if we'll hear much difference if I bypass these, but let's have a listen. Not really picking up much difference, but okay, so let's go back to our full mix. I'm going to bypass both of these auxiliary channels that we've added, the kick, click, and the guitar highs. I mean, this is a very simple, I thought this would be a good example to show you on, because at the moment all we have is 4 audio channels, 2 of which are bass. So I've divided the bass up into the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies. And then we have the 2 guitars that I've just talked about. So left, the right, and then we have kick and snare on one channel, cymbals on another, and we have, for our processing, we've basically got bus 1, which is the drum compression. So we've got EQ, a bit of distortion and compression, and again, just so I can just attenuate the gain if need be, if it's getting a bit too loud. We have bus 2, which is the reverb, very simple, and then bus 3 and 4, which are these 2 extra channels we've added. So let's listen to the full mix again in with the 2 extra auxiliary channels with our high frequency processing on it, muted at first, and then as it's playing I'll bring them both in, and hopefully you'll hear the kind of lift that's given to the track overall. Okay. Now, I will point out, depending on your production, and there's no rules when it comes to production, there are no rules, so don't take this as granted, but I'd say just be aware that it may in most cases be better to keep quite a gradual slope on the high pass. If we go extreme with this, actually let's do this on the guitars, because I think you'll be able to hear what's happening if we're too extreme with the slope. So let's get to bus 4. So let's open up our EQ. Okay, so let's so as you can probably hear there, that became very kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of nasally and very sort of unnatural sounding in that context. It may work depending on what sound source you're using, but just bear that in mind. But there we go, it's a very simple technique, a way to add extra click to your kick drums. You can add extra air and shimmer to vocals in this way. You can add extra kind of brightness to your cymbals or snare sounds. The list is endless. It's a very good way because we're focusing on predominantly on the high frequencies, and we're kind of treating those separately and then blending them back in as much or as little as we want until we get a perfect balance in our mix. Hopefully, that's the goal anyway. Okay, thanks for joining me today, and we'll be back soon, hopefully with another video. Peace out.